We're looking at some uncharted agave territory here. Titanota, Odori, Oteroi, I don't know, what you would decide. It's a complicated topic. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to another episode of Cactus Quest. I am your host, Hunter, and in today's episode, I am at a very, very exciting place. I love agaves. I'm with a couple of my buddies who also love agaves, and today we are at a magical destination. I can't tell you where, but we are in Oaxaca, and it is a place that requires permission to get to. We had to take off our shoes and cross a river to get here, and apparently this is a spot where you have an agave growing that is kind of a controversial topic. So some call it Oteroi, some call it FO76, some call it Titanota. Some people can't agree on what it is. To me, all I know is it is beautiful. I mean, look at that, right? So this is agave, Odori, Oteroi, FO76. Shout out to Felipe Otero. Look at how beautiful it is. Nice, tight, compact, with the absolute beastly teeth. But what's super exciting to me also, just aside from the agaves, is this. Look at that. Look at that. Little Mammillaria crucidera, subspecies Talakii. Now there's a little debate I've been having with a few people about what's what on these as well. I found some at another location. I was told that they were Huitzilopochtli, but Huitzilopochtli is a solitary plant and Talakii clumps and crucidera bifurcates. So I'm gonna go ahead and pretty confidently assert that this is Talakii. And I want to cruise a little further over here. They're basically growing out of all little types of nooks and crannies. And because they blend in, I'm going to have to be careful. You know, I don't want to be crushing them or anything like that. And, oh, wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Oh my goodness, man. That is the coolest thing. The teeth on these are absolutely vicious. And I've seen a couple of localities of this plant. And just getting here so far, the little ones. I love small young plants. They have so much character, you know? And agaves in particular, I find they remind me of puppies. The small agaves, like, you know, you have a puppy, and the puppy, it's got like big dog-sized paws, you know, and then it's a little puppy body, and that's how these agaves are. When they're small, they got these big giant teeth, you know, and they just look so absolutely beastly. Like little phlox coming out of everywhere. You got Hectia, you got Bursera. Man, oh man, this is a zone. This is a zone. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Wow. Oh my gosh. All right, further on. And oh man, look at the teeth. So fucking unreal. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Oh my God. Wow.
We're at a habitat for agave Oteroi, I guess it would be. Previously known as Titanota, and I don't know anybody who's ever been here. I don't know anybody who has. And it was recently described in the journal, well, recently as of in the last year or two, and this is not on the map for the locations that were drawn up in the journal. So to see this kind of thing is really exciting for me. This is what I live for, just seeing these things. These are my movie stars. These are the famous things that I get to go see and just, you know, kind of, yeah, I don't know, just get giddy about. Somebody once told me a while ago that there's nothing new in Oaxaca. And since they've said that, there's been several new agave discoveries. Plus there's habitat localities, you know? I mean, to look at all the mountains, to stand here and look at the expanse of the area and the expanse of the mountains and the distance when you drive around, to say that everybody's been everywhere who study this kind of thing. I mean, people have been there, but for the people who study these things, there's always something new. And that's what keeps me going. That's what I mean, one of the things. But this is what I love about it. And look at them all. They're all in beautiful flower right now.
Yeah, this is the most epic spot I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, healthy and pure. There's no other tight note. There's no agave kirchovi that's coming in and diluting the gene pool. This is pure stuff right here.
Mammillaria tilakii is an interesting plant, not only because of how beautiful it is and just based off of its morphological characteristics, but it's also a mammillaria that is named after the Aztec god Tlaloc. Now, Tlaloc was an important deity in the Aztec religion and mythology. He was considered to be the god of rain, water, and fertility, and was closely associated with agriculture, prosperity, and growth. So, in Aztec mythology, Tlaloc was often depicted as a fierce and powerful deity with blue skin and large round eyes. He was also sometimes shown with fangs, a beard made of snakes, and a headdress adorned with colorful feathers. So I'm basically just a snake beard and some fangs away from being Tlaloc myself. So, I mean, the flower is definitely right. The spines look right. And the morphology, the growth habit looks right. Look at this. There's just root head here. Like, these plants look like they've been beaten to pieces. Like, that one is completely just loose. But let's get a little close-up of that flower. So that looks very much like the flower for tilakii. And they're growing very healthily on this hillside here. So there's another example, another clump. I mean, they're quite literally a prolific plant in this particular site, growing in full sun. And Oaxaca is not a cool state by any stretch of the imagination. Right on the other side here is agave oteroi. You can see that. Member of the asparagus family. And I said it before, I'll say it again, the agaves are my favorite member of the asparagus family by far. Little triple bloom there. So let's take a look around. I really like this plant. Totally stacked. So I'm right now at the top of this particular ridge line where agave oteroi grows, and we are fortunate enough to catch it in bloom. So you can see that there's an inflow right behind me here, and it's just starting to open up its flowers. And there are actually plenty more on this hillside that are fully in bloom. And what's exciting about being here today is that's Greg Starr. That's the guy who actually described agave oteroi. So it's kind of a cool thing to be in the field at a site with the plant, with the person who described it. So this is what all those folks all around the world go crazy for. The plants with the teeth like this. And one thing I definitely love about agaves is the variability between the new growth and the existing teeth on the existing leaves. Just very dynamic change, and that is one hell of a clump. The genes there are tremendous. Look at this. This whole clump is all the same gene pool. Really nice. So here's the flower of agave oteroi. Still opening up, it looks like. So what they're doing is they're collecting some of the flowers. And collecting those flowers, the purpose of that is to, Greg, like I said, Greg wrote the description for the plant. And so it's not every day that you get to encounter one of these in the field, fully in bloom. And we've got permission from the locals, of course.
Nice variability in here. Some great teeth.
Hey, tell me about this striping, this mid striping. Is that like normal?
It's normal for oteroi, and
okay.
A lot of the species in this group, the heterocanthe or section, heterocanthe,
okay,
do that. So
gotcha.
if you look at like a agave lophantha, lechuguilla, Kyotopecensis, a lot of those will do this mid striping.
Okay, that's not variegating. Or not what people would consider a variegated agave.
Maybe it can manifest into variegation at some point.
Interesting. Hey, what's up, mamita? So which one is this? What did you say this one is?
This is Mammillaria mistax.
Mistax.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got those super long spines.
Okay. Interesting. Mistax. So here at this spot, the two highlights were the agave oteroi and the Mammillaria crucidra subspecies Tilakii. They were growing directly out, as you can see, growing directly out of the rock. And I'm not sure whether or not they share the, with Huitzilopochtli is an obligate saxicle, meaning it has to grow out of rock. It's not gonna grow out of any other kind of substrate. I don't think I've seen Tilakii growing out of anything but rock. You know, I just think, like, if somebody was, watching me, and I didn't know, and they were like, who the fuck? And they just see me walking around, jabbering to my phone to myself, like talking to myself out loud and laughing and all this shit, they would probably think I'm a lunatic. Maybe I am a lunatic. I think I might be. Oh boy. What do I do now? What do you do once you find out you're a lunatic? How do I live life at this point? Where do I go, Lord? What do I do? We're at roughly 5,800 feet elevation, and you've got a habitat rich with columnar cacti, agaves, and palm trees. Just completely overriding this hill here. Let's get closer. Let's take a closer look, shall we? So we're now getting closer here. The cactus we have growing is Neobuxbaumia. And you can take a real, just look at this. This is, how perfect is this? Just high enough where I can get it. Isn't that pretty? And I have this plant, I grow this plant, it's in cultivation. I forget the exact subspecies, but they grow really, really tall. Guy I know down in the Fallbrook area grows these. Look at them, prolific. You see all those kind of lime green rosettes? Those are all different palm trees. Like you can see the seedlings of Neobuxbaumia. They're growing directly out of this gypsum, and they're doing quite well. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to traverse this area, not just because the gypsum is extremely crumbly, but also because I don't want to be stepping on and crushing, 5-6 year old cactus seedlings or whatever, however old, doesn't really matter. I don't want to be coming in here and breaking everything up. But just look at the sheer, look at that. This is what they're growing out of. Doesn't get any more pure gypsum than that. And I've spotted a small succulent rosette. What do we have? Sedum. I love the miniatures. There is something real special about finding a tiny little plant. It really, because it's not something you expect to see. I wasn't expecting to look for a sedum. I really wasn't even expecting to see cactus here, to be honest with you. And look how that panned out. I mean, that's on this hillside only, though. I mean, we've been driving for hours through the mountains of Oaxaca with not one single cactus at all. And here you even have Mammillaria, look. Right? You can't really see it right there. It's really tricky to get around on, so I may not get a close-up on that one for you guys. But look, just between these two cactus, you've got a little cluster of the sedum that's gone to seed. And we'll move a little further up the mountainside here, and you'll see that you've got these palm trees, which is just totally odd to see. And the nice thing about these Neobuxbaumia is they're spineless, so you use them as like you could use them to get around. There's more of those sedums. Man, I'm starting to become a little sedum sucker, dude. I like them. Look at that, dude. Something so small, precious, growing under the watchful care of these giants here. habitat. Jaw dropping. See, here's the trunk of one of those palm trees, and this one even appears to have some sort of a. Oh no! This is it's getting ready to flower, I believe. Not a palm guy. Don't fucking call me out. I'm just showing you. But anyway, look at this. Dude, look at this habitat. Sensual babies. Why are the cactus only isolated to this one particular hillside? Why is there only gypsum here? And what's the relation between the gypsum, the cactus, the agaves, and the hectias? And how could it be so divergent? Just at the bottom of the hill it ends, and that's the only section of it like this around. I don't understand. These are things I need to research. So right here at the base of these Neobux bommias, look at how cool they look when they stress, right? I found this little mammillaria, and it's a little cute one. I don't know. I want to say, you know, it looks like Perbella, but without it's got that same kind of, I think it's in a super texta complex. Again, forgive me, ma'am people. I'm not the ma'am scientist, but I do like them. I know some of them better than others, but there you go. They blend in really well with this white gypsum. And more of that mid-striping on the agave here. Are actually Mixteca. These are not, these are Mixtec lands here. They're not our, we don't have free reign to come in here. So in order to be able to even gain access to this area, we had to stop and get permission and actually be accompanied by people from the local municipality. They're very protective of their plants with good reason. But it was very interesting to hear them going back and forth from what I believe was Mixtec to Spanish when they were deciding whether or not to let us in. And I'm very grateful that we got in. What's happening, man? Hey, man. eBay sellers would say it's variegated, but I'm gonna go with sun-stressed. What do you think? Y'all let me know. Let me know the consensus, the web consensus. Ooh. There's a pretty little fighter. Huh? Look at that guy. That's looking pretty dang good. Check that out. You got an orchid growing on this palm tree here. That's pretty cool, huh? Orchids, palm trees, mammillarias, neobux bommias, hectias, agaves, resurrection moss. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So here's more of that orchid growing out of the gypsum. Wow. Looks like it's a little too hot for it here. So I imagine, and you know what's interesting is the orchid on the side of the palm tree that's getting the most sun with the highest exposure, that looked pretty fried. A lot like this. But is there more of it here? Yeah, there is. Right there. Right there. And that first palm tree I saw was like way down there. The way these Neobux bommias are like desiccated, it almost looks like they went through some kind of fire and then continued to grow themselves out of it. Either way, the stem has completely desiccated. And the only part that remains photosynthetic is the tip here, right? And that doesn't tell you these are absolute warrior plants. Wow. So you get, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ribs. The black stripes, like a Del Bata. And then you got the big old fat roots just peeking out. Looks like they've been burnt a few times. I don't believe that they are naturally deciduous like that, but who knows, they could be. So at this spot, you had a couple of different species of agave growing side by side, and there was no signs of hybridization between the two that I saw. Now you have agave green bull as well as a few scattered occurrences of agave potatorum. Now the variety of stress colors on some of the hectea here, really, they reminded me of hallucinating. And to see the forest meet what are usually considered to be these desert plants at such a high elevation spot was just unbelievably cool to see in person. And I'm excited for the next quest into the unknown. Thank you all so much for being here, making this all possible. Super huge special shout out to everybody who's supporting me through my Patreon page, helping me do bigger and better things with the channel, bring you guys cooler and cooler content. So thank you so much. Peace.